Hey everybody, Josh Brown with his productions here. I'm in the studio here in Michigan, Sturgis, Michigan. It's kind of a gray and a little bit of a gloomy day, but it's just a couple days before Mother's Day, this coming Sunday, May 8th. And I wanted to take a moment just to highlight and bless and acknowledge my own mom, Julie Brown. She's obviously played a really big part in my life and continues to play a big part in my life. And I'll tell you, probably the number one thing that I can say about my mom today and for my whole life is that she prays for me. Like, she prays for me all the time. I know she probably prays for me a couple times a day. I feel it. I know it. But more specifically, I want to share just a brief story, just something amazing. My mom was just such a big part of my story and how I came to Christ. Some of you guys know my story. February 28th, 1999 is when I came to Christ. And I was living in the hood of Fort Wayne. My girlfriend, my wife now, Lisa, and I living on the south side of Fort Wayne. And just kind of in the throes of spiritual battle that evening, on the edge of I believe just complete destruction, and maybe the other edge being the kingdom. And so my mom that day, she was at a women's retreat, hanging out with some of the ladies from church. And it was in the middle of the night. It was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And my wife and I, we were in the midst of this just real chaotic thing where Satan was, I really believe, trying to destroy us once and for all. And thankfully that didn't happen. And we encountered Jesus that night. But my mom was at this women's retreat, and she got this stirring, this prompting, this nudge from the Holy Spirit to get up and begin praying for me. She didn't know where I was, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what was going on, just sensed a leading from God to begin praying for me. And so she wakes up and she begins to intercede for me. She begins to pray for me. She begins to do spiritual battle on my behalf. And it's something she does for me all the time. She does this very regularly. My dad does too. So I'd say that's probably the most blessed thing, the best thing about my mom is that she's a praying woman. She's a woman of faith. And my mom's not the only person or mom in my life that has been that kind of person to me and for me as a child of someone, of Carl and Julie Brown. I think of Day Carr. I think of Becky Schultz. I think of Dawn Cowley. These are women who prayed for me and have prayed for me my whole life. They've known me my whole life and seen me go through all kinds of chaos, and they've prayed me through quite a bit. Lots of stories there, even at an emergency room one time in the midst of an overdose. 3 of those women were there praying for me that I wouldn't die. So, moms, keep praying. Keep praying. You don't know what you're accomplishing in the heavenlies, in that spiritual realm where your child is being attacked. You don't know the victories that are being won. So when it seems and it feels like God isn't listening, and He doesn't hear you, He does. I'm living proof. The prayers of a lot of moms carried me through, and my life was spared. I believe that. I know it to be true. And so, Mom, if you see this, I am so thankful for you and just so grateful for your constant intercession and prayer for me. Dave, Becky, Dawn, if you see this, I'm so thankful for you and your prayer for me in my life and what you've done. And all moms, just continue that. Continue that prayer for your children. And just know that us kids, we are so thankful for you. We're blessed to have you as moms. So anyone watching this, I just want to say to you, Happy Mother's Day.